Platteau. I'm the deputy editor of Wobbing Europe. It's a website about how to use freedom information in Europe. So first of all, what does it mean, wobbing? It comes from WOP, and WOP stands for Wet op openbaarheid van naar bestuur. It's an abbreviation of a Dutch slang word for WOP, but in fact it means Freedom of Information Act. So what we do with our website is we try that journalists, but of course everybody could also do it as bloggers, for instance, using a Freedom of Information Act to get documents of governance. And we say have you been wobbing today? So to give you more in the context where does it originate from, is WOPS is transparency legislation, and looking at in the north of Europe there is already more tradition of transparency, and in Sweden, for instance, you see already from in the 18th century there was already in the constitution some legislation about transparency, and then later on it is also spreading around, and you see that it only existed in the EU since 2001, and thanks to that legislation on European level now you have it also in Germany. But so you see more and more European countries have the legislation, but still there are many differences. For instance, in Sweden, it's as it's more, it has more history, this WOB legislation, so the administrations are more used to journalists asking for information. But then you see in Germany there is no tradition at all. There it's more a habit that documents are kept secret. And it's also, there's a strong protection of privacy, strong protection of business interests. And what we try to do with the wobbing site is to make, to inspire journalists to WOP the same kind of documents and then work together and bring out a story. It all originates from one project, farmsubsidy.org. On this website, it started in Denmark. A journalist who was curious what farmers did with the subsidies, the grants they got from the European Commission. So he opted for those documents. As a result, other journalists from other European countries also started wobbing this information, and now you see that they are trying to make a mapping, in fact, of all the farm subsidies throughout Europe. So the funny thing is that first they started in Denmark, and afterwards they said, so why can't we apply for this information immediately on European level? But it was so difficult to get the information that it was better that journalists in each member state go asking for the information about those farm subsidies. So eventually they got the data out in 2006, 2008. It got like a kind of chain reaction, and in more and more European countries they could make a mapping of who received the grants for farming. So on the basis of this project, we saw that in some countries the kind of documents you get is you get rather a document, but also some information is kept out, but when you combine it with other documents you can match information. So that's what journalists got the idea, and most of all what the idea is with the wobbing site is that journalists from different countries go and WOP for the same kind of information, and then you do kind of matching of the information. And we try, of course, to bring out then a story at the same time throughout the different European countries. So what we are doing in the Wobbing side is make an overview of all the European WOP legislations in each member state and also on the European level, and also bring out stories what has been WOPed in one country or another country. So this can inspire other journalists, but also other citizens, of course, and bloggers, for instance, to also do the same wobbing in their country. And so we built up this platform, and it has become a meeting place for journalists and to exchange their experiences. And also what we try to do is like make an overview of the whole European WOP legislation. And of course, also by bringing out those good practices, we try to inspire other journalists to also do the same stories. So, for instance, we also gonna organize in November in Brussels. We organize the European Investigative Journalism Conference, and there we will gather several WOP journalists, and we will exchange our experiences and try to bring out more of this kind of WOP stories. Any questions?